Touching on something you said about the casting of Emma before and working with her as PL Travers, how important was it that you were working with someone of such a high caliber to opposite your Walt Disney?
Well, I was in the lucky position just to join after Emma was already established, and I had known Emma very, very well socially through, for the last 10 years or so, and we had fabulous conversations, a lot of great dinners, both in the United States and in the UK. And working with her, I knew, I said, look, there's nobody that's more of a professional than Emma is, and there's nobody who understands how to take a scripted word, because she's a writer herself, and perform it in a film. So knowing that she was going to be as thoroughly in the moment and prepared as she was, well, that just raised my game. I really had to make sure that I knew what I was going to be. It's intimidating. It's no lie, intimidating with working with someone that you really like, as well as someone who you truly admire, and someone who is as facile at the craft of acting on screen as Emma did. So I think we were both, we loved it. The give and take that we shared was all about in the dialogue. It wasn't like a lot of goofing around or getting to know each other in the course of making the scene. And I think we gave John Lee Hancock probably 40% more usable footage, just because we were so specific of what we were each doing.
It's a very complex relationship that Walt Disney has with Mary Poppins author PL Travers. How would you describe that relationship, and talk a little bit about the immovable object that Pamela Travers was to Walt Disney?
Pamela Travers hated Walt Disney, and she hated America, and she hated movies, and she hated cartoons, and she hated that she had to give up this creation of hers over to some sort of commercial buffoonery that she felt Mary Poppins was from the get-go. Now, some of that is absolute bluster. Some of that is just insecurity working itself out. Walt Disney was not used to coming across someone like that who did not succumb to his charms. He was a beloved guy. Salvador Dali and Picasso hung out with Walt Disney. He was world renowned for being a great artist, and to have to fight for the rights to this. The story of the books of Mary Poppins for as long as he did, I think he felt as though, well, he had won. And it turned out he was just at the beginning of a process that he almost lost, because she maintained the script approval. How that happened is beyond me. I think that was an acquiesce on Roy Disney and Walt Disney's parts, just in order to be able to move forward with the movie. But I think he was completely flummoxed by a woman, a force of nature who just continuously said no, when I think Walt Disney would accept no maybe 3 times, but then after that, yes always seemed to fall in place, and it just did not happen with Pamela Travers. And at one point, I think he agreed to things he never would have agreed to, and he also just sort of gave this hopeful order to his staff of fix this. And I don't think he ever had to do that before.
Were there any particular materials from the museum, the Disney Museum, or the archives that helped inform your character, and how did you use those to help you?
Well, it's mostly you just keep stacking up this information of this anecdotal story that goes on and on and on. And the stuff that really quite helped was, there's plenty of physical things that he did. He did sign his own cards and hand them out. He did spend a lot of time at the office, but it was his home, and his kids were, on weekends, his daughters would be out riding their bikes all over the back lot. But then you talk to somebody like Richard Sherman, who worked day in and day out with him. Richard gave a magnificent anecdote that immediately made it into the movie, which was that his lack of high praise. If Walt Disney liked what you did, he didn't go on and on, oh, that's great, that's perfect, that's exactly what I want, you guys knocked me out, way to go, this is absolutely perfect, bravo. He didn't say that. He would say, that'll work. That's what he said. That was the highest praise that you could get from Walt Disney in the room. And it's in the movie because we heard it from the source.
Great. Thank you very much.